Good afternoon. It is June 14, 2025, and it's a Saturday. Here in Sherbrooke, it is currently a perfect 20 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. It's been a while. It's been a month, maybe even a bit longer. The sun this morning was at 4:58 a.m. Holy shit. It rose before 5 o'clock in the morning, and it will set at 8:37 p.m. That's 15 hours and 39 minutes of sunlight. That's amazing. Well, the sun is likely to set while I'm at work tonight. I have to work at 7:15 p.m. and I really don't want to go to work. I worked a bit earlier today, and now I work again tonight, but it won't be long. But it's my friend's birthday party tonight. And I also work early tomorrow morning. I don't want to work early tomorrow morning, but I want the money that comes with working. I want that money. A lot has been going on over the past month. Good and bad. I don't know how deep I want to get into it today because it's a lot of stuff to process. I went from being like absolutely broke, like counting change, not knowing when I would be able to buy food, to now having plenty, well, I'm still very poor, but like enough money to survive for the time being. And that was really tough. It's really tough to, I don't know if any of you have experienced abject poverty, but it's really stressful and sad and scary. And it's just beautiful outside. And I'm trying to spend as much time as possible outside. I got into flight simulators a little bit. I bought a joystick, secondhand, wasn't expensive. Now I'm like coveting flight simulator controllers, which I'm not going to buy. I've been thinking about like spending money on leisure, and decided that like it might be a good idea to divide like social and antisocial behaviors, if that makes sense. So like, if I'm going to indulge in something that isn't necessary for my survival, but is going to lead me to have fun, I think I'd rather prioritize spending that money towards something that will encourage me to socialize or only like work within the context of socialization. Perfect example. Want to buy a board game. It's actually, well, a card game, but like cooperative card game. The Arkham Horror LCG revised core set, which is $100, which is very expensive. However, with that, the only way to use it, I mean, I can play alone. I'm not going to play alone. Is with other people. So it's going to encourage me to seek out spending time with other people because I have a lot of social anxiety, and so basically like a lot of like parts of my life are sort of set up so that the path of least resistance is just me being alone in my room. Drinking is another big part of it. But like the moments where I feel the most like calm and comfortable and safe is when I'm alone in front of my computer drinking, which is really sad. I don't want that. But I mean, if I want something else, I can choose to behave differently, you know? And so for example, like, okay, I'm having fun, this flight simulator stuff, but if I spend money on that, then I'm just spending money on something that I'm going to do alone at home. And like, for example, another thing is like, of course, I feel bad spending money on alcohol because I would really like to not consume any alcohol. Um, I mean, and that's been like one of the driving sort of parts of the narrative of my life for the past 15 years. Um, and like, I almost got, and that's why I released that just audio clip onto YouTube called Curses the other day. Because that was just my like immediate reaction to going from like I'm going to stop drinking because I don't have any money to buy alcohol to then just getting this dump of like $1,800. And then so instead of just continuing on with my plan, what I did was I just bought alcohol and just got drunk. And so like yesterday, I went out to a show. Not that I really wanted to go see, but I wanted to see my friend who was doing the sound for that show. I ended up spending money on alcohol there. But like, although spending money on alcohol is not something that I think is good for me at this point, a good use of my money, and I mean, of course, I think drinking alcohol is not good for me. Um, I feel better about spending that money and drinking that alcohol in a social setting where I was able to talk to other people and be with my friend who I love than just doing it at home. So I'm trying to convince myself not to buy this board game. But I also think that like if I do buy this board game, I think it's going to be good for me to play that game with my friends. And so like again, speaking of socializing tonight, I don't want to go out and do anything because I want to go to bed and wake up relatively okay for going to work early, but I really think it is important for me to socialize as well. I just tend to shy away. And then, like, I want to regain confidence. So I've been thinking about this a lot recently. When I was younger, I was a lot more confident, but I was also a lot more arrogant. And as I gradually lost that arrogance, not that I can't be arrogant, but I was quite arrogant. At least a lot more arrogant than I am now, a lot more certain about things and that I'm right. Even if, a lot of the time I had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. And I think it's just like naturally through, aging, I've become less arrogant because I understand a lot more the extent to which I don't know things. But it still does pop up. Sometimes I'll be very certain about something, insist that I'm right, and then it turns out I'm wrong. Which I think everybody does, but I think it can be a little annoying to my friends when I do that. And so, but with that, and I think in conjunction with some other things too, I lost a ton of confidence. I feel way less confident. I think one of the parts of that is the fact that pretty much all the socializing I do is in French, and I just feel less confident expressing myself in French. I feel like I'm more shy in social situations where it's in French. I think I find it easier to make jokes in English, which is the way that I deal with anxiety and try to get closer to people. I feel like I sound smarter in English, and more eloquent in English, which I think at least from what people say, they tell me that I sound smart when I talk French. When I talk to them in French. And that I am eloquent, but I still don't believe it. And so I think that one thing that can be helpful towards regaining confidence is just putting myself into, excuse me, these social situations that I find scary. But another thing I was thinking about yesterday is like a technique that has helped me out that I don't apply nearly often enough, for it to work consistently in my life, but that I like is telling myself, like, if I'm afraid of doing something and like the consequences of failing, or like an outcome that I would perceive as like failure, if the outcome is going to be not going to be physically harmful to me or put myself in danger or my security in danger, I probably should do it. Just because, like, having that association of fear, it could be calling, I don't know, to get a doctor. Okay, well, I'm going to try to combine these two videos because I ran out of space on my phone, didn't check beforehand, and I don't want to restart this whole thing because I do need to get ready for work. I don't really remember where I left off when the video cut, but yes, I think that choosing to put myself into situations where I'm afraid, but like the consequences, like aren't that negative, or like aren't negative, or like the worst that can possibly happen is like, I don't know, someone is displeased with my behavior, or I feel like I come off looking silly or stupid, or maybe even just like I feel rejected, like all these things. There's a point to like protect myself from those things. I think we all want to protect ourselves from feelings that we don't want to have. However, I think I take it to the extreme where my default is avoidance for a lot of stuff. And I think there's just like a lot of things that I can't, or like that I won't be able to accomplish or experience in my life if I keep like succumbing to this unnecessary fear that I have. And of course, like everybody, I'm not perfect, and this like will take time. But yeah, like putting myself in situations where I will be confronted with this fear, I think it's going to lead me to build more confidence, like rebuild some of that confidence that I've lost. And so I'm gonna try that. I am trying that. Like yesterday, I was afraid. I went by the cemetery and I wanted to explore the cemetery, and I felt afraid of going into the cemetery because I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to go into the cemetery. And I just saw people walking around, and so I just went in and I looked at the headstones, and it was a really nice cemetery. And I thought about death and aging, but like not in a sad way. And nothing bad happened because nobody gave a shit. And so I'm going to go to this party tonight and try to not go to bed too late. I'll socialize with people, and I'll be fine. And like a couple weeks ago, I went to a party with strangers. Somebody that I played Magic the Gathering with. It was his birthday. He just said I was just walking by on my way home. And yeah, I think I'll tell you that whole situation another time. Okay, so I want to get ready for work. Today I'm thinking about the song Patterns by Pierre, which I learned about on Reddit, on the Indie Head subreddit. There's this thread, this post basically just about like unsigned local bands, and asking like from whatever city you're from, what are some unsigned local bands that are like legendary in your scene. I think it's like Minneapolis, Minnesota, the band Pierre. And so I clicked on the link to their Bandcamp, and I really enjoyed it. A lot of it I don't. It's too emo for me. I'm not a fan of emo in most of its forms. And yeah, the song is very like pop punk production, especially with the drums, which I'm not a huge fan of. But the songwriting was fantastic. And I just find it's a very moving song. I don't know 100% why. The vocal performance definitely, I think, is really beautiful, especially in the sort of, I guess it's the chorus when the singer goes up really high. I find it really beautiful, and I really like the chord progression and the lyrics. I don't know like what the lyrics are 100%. There's some things I don't understand, like what the singer is like, the words the singer is singing. Um, but it's just something like, what is it like? Only feel at home when it's in a dream, or when it's a dream. And like, I don't know if he means it in this way, but like, I've definitely felt that, like, waking up from dreams and just being like, fuck, I felt so good and so like safe. And what was it? This total like randomly generated fantasy world. Um, and the next one is like, and when you say that nothing matters, are you referring to me? Which I don't know. It just that hits me emotionally. Because I've often felt like I didn't matter. I don't know. I just think it's really good, and yeah, even though I stay away from anything remotely emo generally, this song is great. There are other tracks on the album that I like. I tried listening to their first record, and it was just too emo for me. But hey, might not be too emo for you, but it's definitely some quality performances and good stuff. Later today, it's gonna get significantly cooler. I'll just go ahead and tell you that at the end of the day at 11 p.m. it's going to go down all the way to 11 degrees Celsius, 57 degrees Fahrenheit. So much cooler. It's been cool at night, windy recently, but right now it's beautiful, and it will be when I walk to work in not that long. All right, thank you for watching this again, and yeah, who knows? I might do this more regularly again. This felt really good. I am going to go back soon into the beautiful blue skies and sort of soak in that golden sunshine all along the way to work. Everyone, have a great rest of your day.